Tammy, thanks so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. Tell me about your business. Tell me where you guys are located, your website address, Instagram, social media stuff.
Okay. Well, hi, Shane. Thank you so much for having me. So the name of my business is Bridal Fitness Coach. I'm located in San Francisco. I've been in business over 10 years. My webpage is bridalfitnesscoach.com, and my Instagram is Bridal Fitness Coach.
Nice.
And I do in-person training in San Francisco, and I also do online training like with Zoom and FaceTime with clients. And for the past few years, I've been trying to get the word out about my Bridal Fitness Coach fitness app.
Oh, nice. So
Yeah.
that app is available on, what do you do with the app?
So the app, what I do is I design custom workouts for my brides or grooms and bridal parties. And I have 3 packages.
Nice.
They can purchase. Yeah. And it's like a subscription. And there's a lot of, as you probably know, in the fitness industry, everyone has an app and everyone's selling something. The difference between my fitness app and others is that it also comes with me, and I'm very dialed in with my clients. They actually get contact with me either through the app, through messaging through the app, or I schedule like video conferences with them. So I'm very involved with them and I communicate with them, and they're not just a number.
Yeah, gotcha.
I keep my subscription numbers are lower than probably some of these really large apps so that I can focus on them.
You're building a more personal relationship with them in a way that helps them meet their goals, right? I mean, that's really the idea there. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's what I do.
Yeah. So tell me why fitness and why bridal? What happened there? What's the story?
I have a good story. Okay.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Probably like a lot of women, and maybe men too, I don't know because I'm not a man, but I know as a woman, when I hit my early 30s, I gained a little weight and I was horrified, and I went out and found me a trainer, and I loved her and I loved working with her. And I also had been in business for myself in the past. And I thought to myself, and at the time I was working at a really good job and I was making good money, so I could afford to have a trainer. And I thought to myself, if I go into business again, I want to be a personal trainer because I like people. I like working with people. It's just a really good business. It allows me to have flexibility in my schedule. And it was not as complicated as other businesses I had in the past. Just so happens the company that I worked for ended up going out of business. And so I decided to become a trainer.
Nice.
And how I picked the niche of bridal, 2008, I think it was 2008. Yeah, 2008, I had surgery. I was in bed for a month and I was watching all the bridal shows. For a whole month, I just laid in bed watching bridal shows. So then when I started my business, probably, I don't know, a few months later or a year later, I was trying to think of a niche. I was like, okay, I know I want to work with women. And I looked at different aspects of working with women, and I thought, bridal. These are women who are motivated, they have a date, and for the most part, they're going to stick to it because they want to fit into their dress and they want to feel beautiful on their wedding day. And so that's why I picked that niche. And I started looking around, and at that time, there were 2 trainers online that I could find that were working with brides. There was a lady in Detroit and there was a lady in Australia. There was no one else that just specifically worked with brides. There's a lot of trainers who do bridal boot camps,
sure.
But it's very different to throw brides in the mix of everything that you do and to focus your business on just working with brides. So I designed my whole business around working with brides, their needs, emotional needs. It's not just about losing weight and fitting into their dress, but it's an emotional process. One of my brides calls me her gym mom because, I'll give you an example. She showed up to the studio one day and she burst into tears. She had just started working at I won't say the company, but at a very large tech firm that has a very stressful culture. And she had been working on this project and she was stressed, but she came for her workout, and I told her, go home, go to bed. you can't work out today. You
Yeah.
just don't have energy. So she's like, you're my gym mom. So I really care about my clients, and I'm very involved in their, the whole process.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Well, in the past 10 years, technology has changed quite a bit, right? Around fitness and other things.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what have you seen there, and what are you doing to adapt to that new culture there?
So, yeah, there's a lot of, like you said, there's been a lot of changes with technology. Some of them I have embraced, and some things I'm just kind of sticking with what works for me.
Gotcha.
There's, I know there's a lot of trainers who use like for in-person training, they might use lots of different apps and programs and things like that. I keep it really simple because I keep my client base for my in-person clients, I keep it pretty small. And I like to keep it simple. I like certain things on paper. I like to be able to go back to it and write and things like that. Because when I do a one-on-one consultation with a client, I meet with them for about an hour. I'm writing down what they're saying. I'm making notes. I'm drawing pictures and things like that. And I can do that better with pen and paper. Now, one of the things that has happened in the last 10 years, which I really am embracing, are the fitness apps, because
they're everywhere.
They're everywhere. They are. So I started my BFC fitness app for Bridal Fitness Coach. I started that a few years ago, and it's subscription based. And I design custom workouts for my brides or bridal parties or grooms. And it's designed around what their needs are, what are their goals. I offer nutrition coaching if they need that, meal planning if they need that. And I have 3 different subscriptions. It's really based on what they're looking for, how many times a week they want to work out, how much involvement they want with me. So I have some people who use this subscription exclusively. They're just my subscription clients. And then I have some clients that are hybrid clients. They see me and they use the subscription for like their homework. And then I have some clients who use it when they travel. They see me, and then when they're not with me, if they travel a lot, because a lot of my clients are in the demographic since they're younger. A lot of them, since I'm in San Francisco, they work in tech, so they travel a lot, and so they might just use the app when they're traveling.
Yeah.
So, and then I have clients. I just got a new bride in London, so I have clients all over the world.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, that's the thing that technology, I think, gives you the opportunity to do versus like being local. I think there's a combination there, right? Like personally, I like to have a personal trainer specifically to help, get me through the hard stuff and tell me what I need to do.
Exactly.
But then I like to learn things that I can actually do on my own or at home when I'm not with them, right? So
Well, I'll say this about my fitness app, which makes it different from all the other apps out there, besides the fact it's specialized just for working with brides, which is a very specific group. It's not just a subscription where you sign up and that's it. It's not all just about the numbers, because I keep my number of clients. I'm not working with tons of people. I just have a few because I am personally involved. I talk to them either through the app. We do app messaging, or like I just had a Zoom call with one of my clients, a video conference with one of my clients the other day. So I'm very involved in their process. I look to see if they've completed their workouts, because I get a ding on my phone or my computer or my tablet whenever they do a workout. And I can see if they've missed their workout. So I follow up with them. I see you missed your workout, or I see you missed your workout. What can I do to help? So I try to be really involved to help them achieve their fitness goals.
Do you guys do like interactive training too, like to make sure they have the right form and things like that?
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah.
Because a lot of times, like even though you say, this is just my personal experience, but you look at an exercise, or maybe your trainer has given you an exercise and showed you how to do it, and they're always correcting you when you're there, right? Like, put your back a little bit more, right? Or sit up, or whatever. Well, when you're doing it at home, you can't see that, right? So I'm just curious, how do you handle that?
Well, first of all, each of my workouts, they all have videos and they have written instructions. And then I also, if someone needs help, I can help them. So like my client who just signed up in London, right now she can't get any equipment. obviously. So we had this long conversation over WhatsApp. What day was it? What is today? Oh, just a couple days, yesterday actually. And we were talking about, she can't get hand weights, dumbbells. What can she do? Water bottles, go fill them with sand. I was giving her some suggestions. She sent me a message through the app. I'm thinking about getting these kinds of bands. Don't get those bands. Those aren't very good. Get these. Yeah. So, I provide them with personal attention.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's a big difference.
Yeah.
What would you say, outside of technology changes that we've seen, what would you say that people are, a few years ago, there's probably some things that were very popular and trendy. What are you seeing today when it comes to like people working out, what they're asking for?
With brides, I would say maybe high intensity interval training. A lot of them are into HIIT.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of
I've been reading about that. Yeah.
Yeah. But, they tend, most of the time they come to you. If they're coming to you, they're expecting you to be the expert.
Yeah.
And they just expect you to give them the support and the exercises that they need. So most of my clients aren't very demanding, and they're just,
Yeah. What do I do? Yeah.
What do I do? Exactly. Yeah. And so it's up to me to keep up with what's going on.
Yeah.
But I don't get into a lot of trends and things like that. I keep it really simple.
I was going to say, why do you think HIIT's like more popular today? It seems to me like it's like this has always been the thing, right? I mean, you look at the exercises, you go, people have always done those. Why all of a sudden is HIIT the big thing?
Well, I think it's the fitness industry. I think it's the trend, I mean, I think it's a great thing.
It is.
It might not be for everybody. It might not be, if you have injuries or certain limitations, it might not be for you.
Yeah.
Remember a few years ago, everybody was into CrossFit.
That's right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, I got a few brides that had tried CrossFit and they came to me injured.
Yeah.
So I had to help train them after having injuries. So, there's always these trends, especially in our industry. And so for me, I look at what they are, I keep up with them, and then I think, no, that's not going to work. Not going to do that. Not going to do that. This is what I work. And what I have found, you stick to the basics work.
They do. That's right.
I've been getting results for 10 years with sticking to the basics. So that's what I do. Smart.
What would you say? So when someone's looking for a trainer for their wedding, what questions should they be thinking about? What questions should they be asking the people that they're maybe interviewing? So
that's a really good question. I guess most of the time when people come to me, they've looked at my website, and my website has a lot of information on it. And so they come to me, they've kind of already made up their mind that they want to work with me. So then when I meet with them, I do an extensive consultation, and I let them know during the consultation, at the end of this, we'll be able to decide whether we want to work together. Right?
That's good. Yeah.
So I guess a lot of brides specifically, they want to work with a woman. Now, some might not, but some want to work with a woman. You can tell a lot about a trainer by looking at their website. I personally don't like my website to be all about me. So there's not a lot of pictures of me on my website posing, and my brassiere and really tight clothes. That's not really my thing. That might be for other people, but that's not how I am. I try to make it about the client. And I want them to know that they are the most important thing. It's not about look at me and look at my body, but how can I make you feel good on your day? Mm-hmm. So because I have, that's the way my business is, that's the type of brides I attract. And the other day I was talking to someone about working with brides, and he was like, oh my God, you work with brides? That must be terrible. They must be bridezillas. And I was like, I don't attract people like that. I love all of my clients. They're all awesome. And I'm not just saying that, they really are. They're happy. Yeah. They're happy to see me. I look forward to seeing them. And I think it's because I attract happy, positive people, because that's what I try to put out.
Yeah. Well, and then when you do your consultation, it seems like you know by the end of them whether you guys are a good fit for each other, right?
Absolutely. A lot of times I can tell with the conversation over the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Let's switch gears a little bit and talk about the business side of things. For you, over the past couple of years as a business owner, what would you say has kind of worked well for you?
What's worked well for me? Well, when I first started my business, like a lot of businesses, it kind of started out kind of slow, and I was trying to figure out how to find my target market. And I started thinking about it, and I was like, what is something that brides do? They go to bridal shows. So that's what I started. When I started my business, I started doing bridal shows. And I just did a few in the beginning. And from there, my business grew. And because I have a great web designer, my SEO is great on my website. And I have a lot of positive, all 5-star Yelp reviews and things like that. That combination, I come up well on Google, 5-star Yelp reviews. My business has been once it hit and it took off, it's been consistent.
That's nice.
Very, very consistent.
So investing the time early to go make some connections at certain places, investing time on your website.
Yeah.
Because you're right. Like, I know people generally know this, but I don't think people realize the tremendous value of search. Like,
yes.
When you're looking for anything, what do you first go do? You go search for it, right?
Exactly.
So, why not invest the time and money there and search? Advertising is basically interruption activities, right? So when you're doing something, you see something and it interrupts your train of thought to say, hey, look at me.
Mm-hmm.
But search is very specific around,
Absolutely.
I got a need. Who can help me fill this need? Boom. And I love that about search personally. So that's really good that you took the time to do that.
I did. In the very beginning, I took the time and the money because it requires money.
You got to take the money and do it. Yeah.
And my branding. I wanted my branding. I spent the money on branding. I didn't just go and design my own logo online. I went and spent the money for all of that. And that's very important. And 10 years later, I still love my logo. I still love my brand.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that says a lot, right? Like you made that investment up front and it's working for you today. That's great. Outside of COVID, what would you say has been your biggest challenges over the past couple of years?
Outside of COVID, my biggest challenge over the couple of years, probably trying to really embrace and grow my social media presence. That's a challenge that I've had. Mm-hmm. I'm not really good at it. So what I'm doing is I'm investing the money in having someone help me with that, because here it is. As a business owner working in my business daily, training my clients and things like that, then I have to work on my business. I don't have the time always for that. So that might be my biggest challenge. So social media is part of working on my business. Right. But my husband will tell you, I have a long to-do list of all these things I want to do. I also own my own fitness studio in San Francisco, right? So I have a huge to-do list. And then I also have my clients to take care of. Yeah. So that's probably my biggest challenge, is finding time to work on my business.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. And it is a challenge, especially when you're a small business, right? Absolutely. You got to do it all, right?
You do. Yeah.
And you either have to invest the money to hire people to help you, or you have to kill yourself with the time to make it all happen, right?
And you can only do that for so long.
I know, they don't only last for so long, for sure.
Yeah.
If you had to go back 5 years ago and tell yourself something, what would you go back and tell yourself?
I would have started my fitness app 5 years ago.
Interesting. Why is that?
Well, because then you're ahead of the curve, right? Because now, since COVID especially, people who weren't doing it, now everybody's jumped online. Mm-hmm. Everybody is into the technology. So I would have really hit the ground running and gotten my exercise library completed and all the different things I need to do for my fitness app. I would have done that 5 years ago. And I started working on it a few years ago, but I was slowly doing it because, again, I'm working in my business.
Yeah.
I'm training clients 36 hours a week, in addition to being married and having my own other responsibilities.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to work on this app. And that right there is its own product and its own business. And that takes a lot of time.
It does. Yeah. Did you hire a team to do that, or did you hire someone to do it?
I have someone that's helped. I guess you know what? You're right. I do have a team.
There you go.
About it. I actually do. I have assembled a team, a quality team of people. I wish I had assembled them 5 years ago.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so last question. What is your most inspirational wedding story you have for me?
Okay, so I have a few. Okay, one of my first clients was a lady. She came to me after being in a wheelchair for a year.
Wow.
And when she came to me, she was unhappy with her weight. She also, well, obviously had been in a wheelchair. She could barely walk. And what had happened was she had had surgery on her foot, and the doctor had botched her surgery and had cut a tendon in her foot. And so she was in a wheelchair. And as a result, she lost all of her strength and she gained a lot of weight for her. She had been like a size 4, and within a year, she was a size 14.
Wow.
And then she had her wedding coming up. So when she came to me, she could barely walk.
Wow.
And after a year of working with her, she was able to squat with 40 pounds of weight.
Wow.
And she got back down to a size 4. She was happy about that, but we were both happier about how strong she was at her wedding. And then for her honeymoon, I don't know if it was her honeymoon, but it was a trip right around the wedding or around her honeymoon. They went and hiked the Amazon.
Wow. That's awesome.
And now she's the happy, active mom of 2 little kids. So that's probably one of my most inspirational stories.
That's pretty inspirational. That would get me motivated. Like, right?
Yeah.
Going from a wheelchair, not being able to do much to that is pretty amazing. Yeah. Tammy, thanks so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. Have a great weekend.
Thanks for having me. You too, Shane.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.